You're watching Channel Japan. In the next segment, we introduce some popular documentary programs being aired in Japan. Today, it's an episode from Japanese Dream by TBS. It's about a person who has spent years developing a certain earthquake resistance product.
The Hanshin Awaji earthquake in 1995 caused massive casualties. About 10% of the victims are said to have died because of falling furniture. In Osaka, one man has been working on a way to make the inside of homes and buildings safer. His name is Seizo Kodama. This is a product he is developing to make refrigerators more earthquake resistant. The insignificant-looking blue mat is highly adhesive. Just 5 millimeters thick, it is said to prevent furniture from toppling over. An intensity 7 earthquake is about to be replicated, the same degree of shaking during the Hanshin Awaji earthquake. While the doors swing open, the refrigerator itself doesn't topple over.
Okay. 大丈夫大丈夫。Okay. ご苦労さんでした。倒れんかった。まあ初めてだったら上出来や。
The secret to withstanding such severe shaking is the adhesiveness of this mat. Just how effective is it? Once it's stuck on, no amount of shaking will separate it from the cup, even when turned upside down. But a little twist, and it can be peeled off. The main material is urethane. It is blended with about 10 different ingredients. Of course, they're a company secret. Treat it with heat 3 times, and it's done.
これは社長にとってどんな存在ですか？
これは僕の宝物です。
Mr. Kodama's treasure. It's a product of his passion and aspirations. After graduating from high school, Mr. Kodama became a salesman for a major manufacturer and later took over the family kimono business. Dealing with employees and customers soon became a source of stress. His only enjoyment in those days was traveling to nearby Kobe and drinking with a friend.
ここに屋台が並んでたんです。駆け出しの漫才師みたいなもんですよ。アホなことばっかり言うてね。先輩今日僕がさっき飲みますとか言ってて、景気いい話じゃないですか。ボーナスが出たんですとかね、よう冗談言ってましたよ。
The times he spent laughing out loud with a true friend had become an indispensable part of his life. On that fateful night, 17 years ago, they had agreed to get together for a drink as always. See you at 6 tomorrow. 9 hours after he put down the phone. An intensity 7 earthquake struck the city of Kobe. Mr. Kodama was only able to travel to his friend's home 1 week later. His friend's wife and 2 daughters appeared to be in a state of shock. The wardrobe came flying. We were okay, but he... Mr. Kodama was at a loss for words.
タンスが飛ぶっていうことはね、僕はもうそのこと想定してなかったから、どこ行ってもそうやるからやっぱそうなんだなっていうのはね、初めてでもなかなかにわかには信じられない。
Determined to prevent such tragedies from happening again, he made a promise to his friend's devastated daughter. We live in an age when a person can go to the moon and come back. There has to be a way to stop furniture from flying. I'll find a way, whatever it takes. So he set out to find a solution. At the time, the most common way to secure furniture was by attaching a metal clamp to the floor. Mr. Kodama wanted to find something that could be easily removed and reattached. But he couldn't find such a device anywhere. So he made up his mind. He would make it himself. He spent his days in libraries poring through every book on the subject. Most were highly technical. What caught his attention was an elastic material called urethane. Mr. Kodama visited several urethane manufacturers, but when exchanging business cards, they would see he was from a kimono shop. And the product he wanted to make was an easily attachable and detachable device to secure furniture. He was treated like an amateur, and no one took him seriously. He visited over 600 companies in 4 years. Finally, he found someone willing to lend a hand.
毎度お邪魔します。僕にとっては神さんみたいな人です。家にも一人神さんがおるけどね。
最初言われた時はいかがでした？
だけどまあ無理やと思っていつ断ろうかとそのチャンスのみを狙ってたんですけど。
Mr. Kodama pressed the skeptical Mr. Kuwahara to lend a hand, and the two began work to develop a device. But they were unable to make something that was resistant to severe shaking, yet highly adhesive. The costs piled up. Mr. Kodama got into his retirement savings.
開発しだしてうまいこと言ってまたおかしになる、うまいこと言ってまたおかしになる、これを繰り返すとね、だんだんやっぱり欲が出てきてね、いやもうここまでやったんやからもう本当に人ができないものを作ろうと。
One night, when he was completely stumped, Mr. Kodama decided to go out and have a drink. As he sipped from a cup filled to the brim with sake, he couldn't stop sighing. Then, when he lifted his cup, he saw the saucer stuck to the bottom. An idea hit him. This is it. This adhesiveness. What's making the cup and the saucer stick together? So why did the saucer stick to the cup? In this case, the spilled sake trapped between the cup and the saucer contained water, ethanol, and sugar. Those elements had become trapped in the microscopic indentations. The liquid eventually evaporates and the remaining molecules stick together, creating an adhesive-like effect. That's why the saucer and the cup became stuck.
隙間に液体が入ってついて上がるっていうことは分子構造を小さくしたらいいんちゃうか。それが僕は発見なんですね。僕の頭脳の全部ですね、これは。
Mr. Kodama buried himself in research to shrink the molecular structure of urethane to strengthen its adhesiveness. And in 2000, 5 years after he began his work, Mr. Kodama finally completed his quake resistance mat. A device to keep wardrobes from flying. 17 years had passed since he made a promise to his friend's daughter. Mr. Kodama starts every day by burning incense for his friend.
まあ一人の犠牲者、僕の友達いなくなったけど、これで多くの人が助かっていただければ、まあ 彼は喜んでくれるかなと。これは僕は自分に勝手に判断してそのお線香をあげたんだけどね。
A quake resistance mat born out of a desire to save lives. But Mr. Kodama presses on with his work. The main material has been changed from petroleum-derived urethane to vegetable biomass. It not only protects lives, it is also environmentally friendly.
夢に見た作品ですよ。やればできるもんですよ。頑張ればね。
A biomass earthquake resistance mat. Can it also withstand an intensity 7 earthquake? First, an experiment without the mat. The sample mat that will be used has been colored green to make it resemble a plant. So will this 5mm mat prevent the wardrobe and TV from toppling over? Mr. Kodama's research is put to the test.
加藤さんやろう。
兵庫県南部市 JMA 神戸 120% による斬新箇所。3、2、1、発進。
The TV shakes severely, but doesn't fall. The wardrobe doesn't move an inch from its original spot. The biomass earthquake resistance mat has prevented furniture from toppling over.
発進が終了しました。
いやいや、洗顔 OK。大丈夫さ。これで持てば。
A home mover that installed the mat receives a letter from one of their customers saying his daughter's life was saved as a result. We visited the family at their home in Okawara, Miyagi Prefecture.
Hi.
どうもこんにちは。
こんにちは。
2-year-old Yuna was sleeping in front of a dish cabinet last year when an earthquake struck northeastern Japan. That day, Mr. Kodama's mat prevented the cabinet from toppling over. To save as many lives as possible, that dream has become reality.
マットを敷いてこの子が助かったんだっていうふうに思ってますし、マットがなかったらっていうのはちょっと恐ろしくて考えられないです。本当にありがとうございましたね。これからも一人でも多くの方が地震の被害に遭わないようなものを開発していってください。よろしくお願いします。ね。ありゃ
いや生の声を聞くと責任を感じますね。なかなか生の声を聞くことないんでね。確かにおっしゃるようにちゃんと開発を進めてくださいと言われることは私自身は深くなんていうか肝に銘じないかなと思いますね。
Again next week.